From the heart of Europe to the world, this is RTI.
And it certainly is. It's your different radio station, because we are just different. I'm Eric Wiltsher, and why has my screen just gone yellow? Oh dear, that's not very helpful. Oh, well, it's all right. Leigh and Rach are still there. We don't mind too much. It's gone a funny colour. I think I'm going to have to use a technical solution in a minute and thump it. That'll probably work. This is Postcard from Poprad on Radio Tatras International. And it's a bright sunny day. Yes, it's flipping cold though. 6 degrees this morning. But I was in the warm car, so I don't really care. I didn't ride my bike today. It was a bit too cold for me. My little bits would have got cold, and I can't have any of that. Anyway, with no further ado, let's move across to the UK and say hello to Uncle Leigh.
Hello, everybody. How are you? I don't mean that as a royal how are you to everybody who's listening. I meant to you and Rachel, really. I was just being polite, but I don't feel like being polite now.
Well, I was just pausing so everybody could say okay.
That's fine. Oh, so everybody's only okay?
Yes.
What's up with everybody? Why isn't everybody scintillating and charming and exciting and dramatic? Do you know I'm doing this show, lay on the couch, with the microphone dangling over my head?
Right.
It's quite pornographic, really.
Do you know why people are not really... Oh, Dave says, hello, Leigh.
Hello, Dave.
He's the only one so far. Gary Saunders says hello, Leigh, as well. Oh, for goodness sake. Are you all going to just say hello to Leigh and ignore the rest of us?
Yeah, that'll do.
For goodness sake.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and he's dead in about 5 minutes.
Who is?
You is.
Rach, are you going to protect me?
Yes.
You are?
Yes.
Yeah,
if
right.
I agree with you, I will.
All right, then.
If not, I'll get in line with Uncle Leigh and also kill you. But I don't know what about yet.
No, well, I have no idea what he's talking about. It's situational. We've got to do some more hellos. Hello to Harry, to Laurent. Hang on, you're in trouble, Mr. Banks.
Why? What have I done?
Your wife's watching.
She is. I know, she's always watching me. She never takes her eyes off me at all.
We've got to say hello to... oh, ha, ha. See, Mr. Banks, I'm the winner. Hi, Eric. Kisses from the south of France. Ha, ha.
Oh, that's it, yeah. A bit of garlic, nothing worse. A bit of onion and a bit of garlic.
Listen to it. Hello to the lovely Noreen, who's just joined us as well.
Hello,
thank you very much indeed. We've known Noreen for a very long time. And Harry Cole's there. Blimey.
Hello, Harry Cole.
Hello, Harry. Gosh.
I've heard from you for ages.
I know. It's like he's been into South America or somewhere.
I know where he's been.
Ha, ha, ha.
He's supposed to be writing for us on the ConsumerWatchFoundation.com.
Is he really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well,
I like this message. I can do this one. RTI is the must of radio with Eric.
Oh, without Eric.
Oh. No,
we
Laura,
did it without Eric last week.
we like that one.
You'll have to do it without, because he's getting dead in a minute.
All right. Hello to an old broadcast friend of mine, Graham Hall. And Dave Rhodes says, hello, Rachel.
Hello, Dave Rhodes. Thank you very much for acknowledging my presence.
Thank you. And hello to the lovely Jenny Hodge. I love Jenny Hodge. She's such a nice lady. Hi, Jenny. How are you? Trust you well. We better get on with some news in a minute, haven't we?
Mm.
All right.
Do you think? No, actually, we've got to keep talking.
Oh.
Oh, do we? Why?
Yeah, because I've got a message. Hello, Gaby. The message is, keep talking, Eric and Rach. Then Leigh won't be able to mention that unmentionable website.
The ConsumerWatchFoundation.com.
Is that Dave Rhodes?
Jenny's just written back, oh, thanks, Eric. She's a lovely lady. She really is. Absolutely glorious lady. I can't understand why anybody would not work with her as a PR person. She's just wonderful. Mike Buster's in the house as well. Three mins. Mike Buster, who was here last week.
Oh, Mike's back again.
Yes.
Yeah, Buster Thing.
Stop it. Behave yourself.
Oh, yes, that's Buster Blood Vessel.
It's not Buster Blood Vessel. Actually, he does do sort of ska, but he also does some amazing ballads as well. How about that?
I didn't know that. Tell him to send some in to the station, and we'll play him on one of our shows, like the Trip or the whatever the other one's called.
The Dinner Party.
That's it.
Dinner party.
There you go, Mike. You got an offer for some airplay. Send them over, and Leigh will play them on one of his shows for you. How about that? Gosh almighty. This show is just going bananas, isn't it?
Well, it is, yeah.
Hello, Glenn. Are you well?
Hello, Glenn.
Oh, I see. Oh, thank you, Lauren. Apparently, Lawrence just plugged the station on Euro Radio for us. Thank you.
Oh, cool. Thank you.
That's
Nice
really
one.
nice of you. Thanks very much indeed.
There you go.
This is where all the ladies now leave.
Yeah.
They do, really. Because they'll all go, not that story again. Playboy founder Hugh Hefner has died of natural causes, aged 91. Natural causes? I wonder about that one. Surrounded by his loved ones. Loved ones, or is that ones plural?
I
think, well, with him it was always plural.
I'm not being nasty, I'm just being realistic.
I met Hugh Hefner. I actually met Hugh Hefner. He was on a publicity tour in the UK, going back a long time. I hadn't actually left primary school when it happened. It was in the 70s, and it was the same tour, the same time as Harold Robbins toured, and they were both.
Who the heck's Harold Robbins?
One of the world's most famous schlock horror trash novel writers ever.
Never heard of him.
Wrote The Adventurers and things like. And anyway, all I was going to say is that he was a lovely, charming, very gentle, rather inebriated man. He was lovely.
Right.
You know what? It's funny that you say that about the ladies, because I have fairly strong views about this.
Yeah.
He was, for what it was, for what that magazine was.
Yeah, Playboy.
Yeah.
It always had a kind of a sort of a touch of class about it. It was always
Absolutely.
It wasn't. I didn't think there was anything particularly lascivious about it. It didn't feel tacky to me. It didn't feel like it was exploitative to me. It was more of a sort of a sexual revolution, a celebration of all things feminine, and I don't. People may take me to task on that point, but I really have no problem with it. And I thought he was a kind of a he was known for his philanthropic gesture. He was known for all sorts of things, but to start that business the way he did with nothing and turn it into what he turned it into, and what a lovely, gently spoken man he was, and
always
very eloquent.
Always.
Very eloquent. He never disrespected women, in my view. I mean,
I
the
know.
women who participated with joy.
Absolutely.
They
Absolutely.
didn't do that in the 50s. Sorry. Yeah, no, but seriously, no, what Rachel's just said is right. And he turned out a magazine which was focused on men, which is fine. Well, it was focused on women, but for men. And
it was not.
It did everything to think.
It was not focused on women at all.
It was. They had loads of women with no kit on.
I used to read the motor car reports in it.
That's because you are completely asexual.
Oh, right.
But that's a man thing. Like, he wrote for men. They wrote for men.
But it was focused on women because all the pictures were.
But all the magazines that are out there geared towards women that started God knows when, and just because we don't necessarily want to see, a man in his dangly bits, we like a good recipe, we like a good frock.
A couple of more hellos to do now, boys and girls. But before that, Mike Buster Summers says, can't say Hugh's in a better place now. That's open to interpretation. Good old Paul Brown, who's here on a Sunday morning from Australia. He's joined us. Jan from Luton has joined us. My word. My word. My old mate from up your way, Joe Ibrahim, says, they have let you back on again. They must be mad. Keep up the good work, mate. Rado from Poprad has just joined us as well. And so we're quite a busy little outfit today, but there you go. Anyway, I thought he was just a wonderful person. Lady Lucan, the widow of Lord Lucan, if you don't know who he is, and I wouldn't be surprised if you don't, Lord Lucan sort of famously disappeared in the 1970s, I think it was, and everybody, there was all these conspiracy theories about what he was going to do, and where he gone and everything else, and nobody ever found him. The newspapers joined us. Uh-oh. I should play some music now, really.
What?
I should play Born to be Wild by Steppenwolf.
Or in your case, Born to be Mild.
No, thank you, because the biggest motorbiker I know on the planet, Joe Meadows, has just joined us on Facebook. Hello, Joe!
Hey, Joe.
Hello, Joe.
And while you're motorbiking, that's dangerous.
No, he's just completely... Actually, true story. I was riding my bike when I was a teenager into a place called Hitchin, a small town in the UK. And it was as foggy as heck. You could hardly see your hand in front of your face. The next thing I see is Joe Meadows coming up alongside me. And I think it was an aerial arrow, if I remember rightly. And just to make it worse, he decided to stand up on his bike, doing about 50 miles an hour in the fog. That was Joe.
Good on you, Joe. But don't try it at home, ladies and gentlemen, boys.
No, we don't advocate that at all.
Not a bike.
Absolutely. Anyway, Lord Lucan's widow has died. Well, we think it's Lady Lucan. She's died in her nice property in Belgravia on Tuesday, and her death is not believed to be suspicious.
Oh, no, who thought it was? Nobody suggested it was.
No, but you know what you newspaper people are like.
Nobody said, no, that is a straightforward report out of the Daily Mail, right? It just said, officers found a body after forcing entry into the property. That's straightforward reporting. There is all the conspiracy about Lord Lucan and what happened to him, and people still believe he's alive. He's the bus conductor on Elvis's bus on the moon at the moment. That's the way it goes with him.
Yes.
He created this incredible fantasy world around him. Nobody knows if he's alive or dead. And now it's a sad thing because his wife's died.
Yes, this is true. Gaby says no video today. Yes, we have video today. It is definitely on and definitely working. It's got to be down to you. Oh, my word. I'll tell you what, Mike, you should be my scriptwriter. You really should. If Lucan suddenly reappears, we know why. Think about it. Think about it. Nice one, Mike. Tony Booth. Guess something is going on with my PC. I don't know. Anyway, Tony Booth, the gentleman that played Alf Garnett's Scouse Git son-in-law, has died, and he was also the father of Cherie Blair as well, Tony Blair's wife. And what a wonderful actor he was.
Why was he a wonderful actor?
Because he just played his part so well.
He played himself. I hate to say this, I actually knew Tony Booth as well. I actually used to go drinking with him. I was 7 years old at the time.
Yeah, right.
And he was just, I'm not being horrible about him, but he was just a drunken old idiot.
Well, like Alf.
No, Alf didn't drink that much. We used to drink pale ale, didn't he? But
yes.
He didn't. No, Tony Booth went through this wild, rumbustious life where he got himself set on fire. He became a cripple. His alcoholism was absolutely out of this world. And he ended his career because of his drinking. He ended up doing things. He became a producer and a director. But that's what all out-of-work actors do, dear. I'm a director now. Tony Booth, then he moved into a bit of politics. He wasn't a good actor at all. He didn't have enough time to develop as an actor.
He did until death. For the young people listening and watching, Till Death Us Do Part was a completely non-politically correct sitcom. And
outrageous.
It was brilliant. It was just
brilliant.
Outrageously brilliant. And he used to call this guy, his son-in-law, used to call him a scarce git. And then he used to call his wife a silly old moo. Shocking.
He's terrible. He's absolutely terrible.
Yes.
But Tony Booth was an incredibly handsome young man and he was a product of the 60s and the 50s, in fact. And he took like a swan to water. He took to the drugs and alcoholic state that period of life demanded. And it didn't do him any good at all. He actually managed to live till he was 85, but by God, he'd gone to some awful places.
Yeah, but I love him because he once mistook the Prime Minister of Luxembourg for a wine waiter at a party given by Harold Wilson. Booth told the visiting politician to make himself useful. I love him. I love him to bits. Chris, my old mate from LBC days is there. Chris Lowry. How are you, Chris? How's the partner? Chris. How's the son? Trust you'll keep him warm, because that'd be really cool. This is one for Leigh, sadly. Stop it. I'm sorry, boys and girls. You know, you do your best. I'm going to thump that. I'm going to thump this screen in a minute. Keeps going yellow. Liz Dawn, the actress who played Vera Duckworth, has sadly passed away. Leigh, over to you.
I met her as well.
For goodness sake.
I did. I was on that beat. I used to cover the Coronation Street beat. She was lovely. Liz Dawn was lovely. She was a pretty good actress. I don't know. How would you class somebody who spent their life in a soap? That's a question for Rachel, really. Are the soap actresses and actors, are they brilliant actors, or are they workaday actors who just simply managed to get through life on a fairly good income? Say she was on about, well, by the end she was probably on 150,000 a year. I know she started off at $5,000 a year when she first joined, which wasn't much, but was a good income at that time. Are soap actors and actresses good actors and actresses, Rachel?
Well, yes and no. I mean, these we used to call me and my fraternity used to call soap actors. Our word for them was employed. And
you mean they weren't resting, darling?
Yes, exactly. Not being direct.
I mean, it's not held in very high esteem. I mean, it used to be. In Australia, it's not as revered as it once was. But the quality of soap operas is really sort of, if you can say there was any quality to begin with.
Yeah. Hang on, Rach, we're in here. We're in. We got one-upmanship on Leigh. Mike says, I met Liz at a Candlelighters annual presentation, shared her table, and she was hilarious. Thank you, Mike.
There you go.
How does that upstage me? I met her before he met her. She wasn't into candles when I knew her.
I'm going to do my Lurch impersonation. Anyway, this week, as usual, the worldwide media has been suckered. The entire lot. I couldn't believe it.
He's dead now.
Why?
This is where you get killed, I believe.
Oh. Lucy's over in Aqua City, listening, watching. It's been nice knowing you, Lucy. Leigh's going to kill me. I don't know why he's going to kill me, but there again, you know what I say. From newspapers to TV and radio, they're all suckered again this week due to the Brexit talks. Both the UK and the EU teams poured out the need for EU citizens to have their rights maintained post-Brexit. What rights? The EU are looking for a deal that claims to ensure EU citizens can remain in the UK and UK citizens can remain in the EU. Cue Leigh's words, what a load of old rubbish.
Sorry, carry on, digging your own grave.
It's not a problem to me. UK citizens do not have the right to reside in many EU member states. They just don't. Yes. They just don't. Countries such as Hungary, Bulgaria and Slovakia have their own laws overriding the EU ones. So why are they whinging about each other? Nobody's actually telling the truth again.
Well, no. You see, I don't understand that. I'm not really going to kill you. I just feel sympathy.
You were lying again.
Well, I could have killed you, but then I thought, no, he's a nice man. It's not my fault that he's deluded and
he's after something, boys and girls.
I'm not about anything. No, honestly, I don't understand what your objection is. Why? I don't understand. That's why I'm not killing you, because I don't understand.
Would you like me to explain simply?
Yeah, explain it simply.
Right. So the big gambit at the moment is that, as they are putting it, EU citizens have the right to remain in the UK, and UK citizens have the right to remain in the EU. That's one of the gambits, isn't it? In a simple.
Basically.
Right. The second half of that sentence is completely spurious. Completely.
Yeah, but to be honest, I think you're misinterpreting what the media is saying about it. I'm being serious. I think you actually are, and I think a lot of people are. What the media is saying is that what we have at the moment, or what the government's saying as well, is what we have at the moment as protection for people who live abroad or live in the UK, vice versa, this passage of labour and everything else, and wanting to live in the sun. There isn't enough protection. The protection
But there won't be any protection, Leigh.
And that's what they're looking to put into place.
No, Nanette. No, Nanette, because countries such as Hungary, Bulgaria, Slovakia, many others actually, they have their own systems which overrides the EU. And
that doesn't matter. That doesn't mean that they can't work on.
It does. It does, because if you want an equilibrium, which is what they keep portraying, an equilibrium for EU citizens and UK citizens, there has to be an equilibrium. My point is there will never be one. So what they're negotiating for is completely spurious.
Yeah, but it isn't. That's what you're saying is that because. Just taking this as an example, because Slovakia has its own rules about immigration, then the rest of the Europe should not negotiate about what they feel the rules for people should be, because Slovakia's got its own rules. Yes. That's a knobbish argument.
But it's not just Slovakia.
No, I know it's not. But what's happening?
So why don't they just say this applies to 16 member states and not all 27?
They're trying to change the rules.
But they're not going to.
Well, they're not going to if you were in charge, because nobody would even consider it. And what the press have said...
They've rejected it. When countries like Hungary, Bulgaria and Slovakia came into the EU, they rejected outright, which they have a right to do. And in actual fact, I don't disagree with it. I think it's probably one of the most sensible laws there is going. But they had the right to opt out, and they've opted out. And even whatever this overpaid suit-wearing tall geezer from the EU says, they are not going to change their minds. So he can't negotiate on UK citizens having rights in the EU because other member states are going, sorry, mate, don't care what you say, we're doing our own thing.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean they can't negotiate and come to an agreement. This is an agreement between two bodies of power who want to put certain things into place. And then, I assume, that's when they would negotiate with other countries, or other countries will get the option. At the moment, you can't say... This is a news blackout attitude, which is what's destroying the world, part of what's destroying the world at the moment. There's two sentences, right? The EU leaders insist talks on Britain's financial settlement, the rights of citizens and the status of the Irish border must make sufficient progress. That's what the press have said. It must make sufficient progress.
There's no progress to make.
Well, there is. Of course there is.
How is it? You educate me. I'll let you educate me.
The motor car has progressed since Ford first put it on the road. It's still the same principle. It's still the same principle. It still works in the same way, but it's got better. It's become a more... And that's what we're looking for.
So let me give you the criteria again. There are a number of EU member states who overrode the rules about EU citizens being able to move around the EU. They decided, for whatever reason, some countries have actually said you must have so much money in your bank. Some countries have said you can only stay for a limited time without getting residency approval. Yes. Blah, 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 blah. So there's a whole different raft. And I wouldn't confess to know everyone inside out and backwards.
I agree with you.
So how can you... But you cannot negotiate... Once those countries joined the EU, not that long ago, you're only talking just over 10 years ago, they joined the EU and said, no, No, we do not want any of this movement of citizens, people. Thank you very much. We're not playing. These are our rules. So
But
the guys...
some countries were communist and are no longer. Things change, and an organisation like the EU needs to put things into place that will help the world change for the better.
So are the EU going to force Slovakia to change its immigration laws?
No, they can't. Well, no, but Slovakia might come on and say, gosh, have you heard what they said? That sounds really good. Let's do that, lads.
So the point I'm making is they are going out with this statement that part of the negotiation that's going on now is for both UK and EU citizens to have the right to move around in the EU up until the deadline date, which they actually don't have now.
It's a negotiation.
Yes.
That's the point. It's a negotiation. That a negotiation
it's spurious.
Doesn't have any. It's not spurious. Here, look. Here's another one. Campaigners for the rights of British nationals in Europe have urged the EU to reciprocate a significant offer from the government to allow them continued freedom of movement or to retire or live in another country after Brexit.
Yes.
That isn't something that's set in stone. That's a campaign to get something going, which then starts off a negotiation, and the negotiation sees where it will end up and how these people will then fit in with the future.
I get all of that.
It's a negotiation.
I get all of that.
World.
I get all of that, but they're getting their information from the wrong source.
You know what you both need?
What?
Need an Australian consultant to come and help you figure this out. So
I love it. That one I'm sure will roll on. Mike's back with another gem for us. On the subject of politics, where does the term politically correct come from? Because when have you ever seen politicians to be correct?
I think that is the point, isn't it? I think that's the irony of the phrase politically correct. It's a joke. Anything that's politically correct is actually having the mickey taken out of it, unless you are somebody who has this empty expression about life. Oh, no, that's not politically correct.
Yeah.
Then you're an idiot.
Yeah. Anyway, Sol says... Sol, who says... in fact, Sol's from America. He disagrees with Mike, and he vehemently says, I disagree. And you have that right on this programme, Sol. Joe says, that's not Eric, that's Steam. Oh, don't start, Mr. Meadows. I'm not telling that story today. And hi to Paul has joined us as well, and Gatsby. We move on. We'll get one more story in before the break, and we've got the hugest list ever before on the planet today. A Labour MP blasted the royal people in the beginning of the week. I'm doing my breathing. Breathe. Where's Tina when I need her? Breathe.
Yes.
Apparently, this thing that went out on Monday with her blasting the royal family was not really a blasting at all. It was just a joke that went the wrong way.
Oh, it was not. You liar. Her pants are on fire.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, you little tinker, Emma.
You are. You know what's happened, Emma? What you're supposed to do is judge what the people are going to do first, then make the statement. You don't make the statement, see what the people are saying, and then retract it. It doesn't work very well.
Emma, you've been a naughty girl. You're going to let your knickers down.
You're in trouble now, girl. Anyway, we've got time for this one now. A momentary IT glitch. Oh, IT's everywhere today with me. Lasting about 15 minutes is blamed for chaos at airports worldwide as check-in desk computers crashed, leaving furious passengers stuck all over the place. Problems reported in London, Frankfurt, Paris, and even Melbourne, Australia.
Right, do you think it ever happened?
Qantas got hit, but I don't fly with them, so that's okay.
Oh, that's all right then. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
No.
So, are we saying this is a non-story because it didn't affect you?
Yes.
That's terrible.
Anything that doesn't affect me is always a non-story.
Right.
How many IT glitches are airports going to suffer and keep being brought down? Why don't we get a better system? I know I say this a lot. If this system isn't working and it's causing chaos across the world, get a new system. Do something.
No, they can't do that. They can't do that. How many IT people does it take to change a light bulb?
Oh.
I forgot that joke. I know it. 2.
I don't know.
1. And 99 to write the project notes. And that is so true. And I'll tell you what, I was talking yesterday, I think it was, somebody from who's in charge of not in charge, in an IT group, and he was bemoaning something, and I said, do you not know this? No. Have you not looked at that? No. Well, what are you going to do about it? Is there a training course, he says. I said, excuse me? You want a training course for something you can look up on a search engine? Oh, please. And I got very annoyed when he said, are you going to help me? I said, no, because you're not my client. I don't want to help you. If you're just going to be that narrow-minded and just go, well, I need a training course for it. Well, all you got to do is turn your computer on, IT person, and read it. It's not rocket science, is it?
No.
And that's why IT systems are dying in so many places.
May I say very quickly, at the ConsumerWatchFoundation.com, we have a brilliant IT department.
Do we?
Yes, you do.
Do we?
Yes. We do.
You do.
Who's
We
that
do.
then?
Pardon?
Who's that then?
Shall we name him?
Yes.
Yeah, name him.
That's not because there's only one person in our IT department, ladies and gentlemen. This is the main man, Igor.
Igor's the main man. Thank you.
Work.
Cool. It's like pulling hen's teeth out of you to get a plug for somebody, isn't it?
I didn't actually.
Not for the Consumer Watch Foundation, though.
No, that's very true. Anyway, as he starts to do yet another plug for the Consumer Watch Foundation, you know what we're going to do, boys and girls? Take an ad break.
From the heart of Europe to the world, this is RTI.
This is an appeal that I simply wish I didn't have to make. In this day and age, how is it possible that 1,400 children will die today from dirty water? That children like Elodie have to drink dirty water from rivers and swamps, risking their lives. Right now, you can help save a child's life. Text the word water to 70080 to give WaterAid £3. WaterAid has the expertise to install pipes, pumps and taps that will bring clean water to children at risk. They just need your support. In the next minute, dirty water will kill another child like Elodie. So please, don't wait to save a child's life. Text WATER to 70080 now to give WaterAid £3. Thank you.
If your dream holiday is 2 hours from the UK, perfect for children and teenagers, young couples and the older visitor, ideal for the physically active and for those who just want to unwind, Aqua City is the destination for you. Described by the Travel Channel as the place that will soon be on everybody's lips, be ahead of the crowd and the envy of your friends, but still enjoy a home from home. Come to Aqua City Poprad, the world's leading green resort.
From the heart of Europe to the world, RTI.
And welcome back to part 2 of Postcard from Poprad, boys and girls. Do you know what, you two?
What?
I'm beginning to wonder if these cameras were a good idea.
Why?
Well, that's a terrible idea. I told you that from the beginning, but go on.
Yes, because I've just had a message that said, well, I didn't actually have a cigarette. I was about to, and then I suddenly realised the cameras were on, and then I put it down, and the first message from Honza says, no smoking.
Yeah, there you go. Well,
I can't even have a ciggy now.
You were told off yesterday for smoking as well.
Oh, bye.
At all, let alone indoors. Goodness me.
You can work it out. Who told you off?
I know. I can work that out very simply. An email that we still can hear you. Huh? I don't follow
Because we're
that.
on-
Oh, you
on
mean?
the air.
Oh, I get it. Yeah. So when I smoke, people can hear me smoking, so therefore I still can't
go.
smoke. Okay, yeah, I get it. An email has ruined our honeymoon, says a couple, amongst 400,000 people affected by the Ryanair thing, which is another mess.
Well, it is, isn't it? And it's just incredible. Ryanair thing has moved on even further now. They've cancelled up loads more flights. They've cancelled everything. What's wrong with Ryanair? Why can't they just get the pilots to fly the planes and take people on holiday?
There isn't
Did you
enough.
see them
There
flying around Facebook?
There isn't
There's
enough,
great
mate.
Flying around Facebook. It's really funny. It's all these passengers on a stair. You know, the stairs that go up to the plane.
Yeah.
They're all standing upstairs, and then there's nothing there at the top. And it says Ryanair. The plane is extra.
Yeah, sounds about right from Michael O'Leary. But the truth is, Leigh, there ain't enough pilots.
I can't stick with pirates. That's better.
That's better, yeah. War. We're taking off now, boys and girls. We're on our way down there. We'll be robbing the other plane on the way through.
Maybe that's where the planes are.
Why can't they take
The
more on?
pirates.
Why do the pilots not want to work for them? Why have they had to let down?
There is
another
not enough
400,000
pilots in the world to fill all the vacancies.
Well, then they've done something else wrong. They've taken on too many people. The whole model of
Passengers,
Ryanair-
passengers, I agree with you.
Yeah.
They just assumed that everybody would take the £1,200 a day, as it is in England, and work through their holidays, which is what used to happen a lot, but doesn't happen so much these days. And that's the problem. The biggest problem is the HR department didn't tell the bosses, sorry, mate, you can't book those extra tickets because we can't put any people in the plane.
That's right, and they're offering
You know
pilots.
what? Your situation in Europe and the UK with your aviation is so appalling that
course
it's
it
led
is.
Rob and I to book trains everywhere because we're too terrified to book a plane. The only time we're flying is between Luton and Poprad because we have to. Sorry,
Yes.
but otherwise we're not flying.
Rach, you're okay. It's not Ryanair.
Thank
No.
God.
It's not.
But I know that Luton Airport, that's where that shady aeroplane show comes from with all those horrible people and horrible planes.
No,
It's
it's
like,
wonderful. If you look it up on the interweb, there's a great song called Luton Airport.
There is.
Oh.
There really is. Lorraine, the
It
singer
sounds like
was.
an
Poprad, I
airport
don't
now.
care.
Hang on,
It used to be the pits, but it's pretty good now.
yeah, the singer really is Lorraine Chase, and she talked with a sort of an Essex come London accent, and was a bit of a pin-up in the
Very
70s.
much like Eric, actually, Rach.
Oh, really?
She was like the masculine version of Eric.
I have not got my tight trousers on today. Anyway, Rachel's now about to rant.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, Rachel's probably going to have a rant now because, oh no, women in Saudi Arabia will soon have the right to drive a car.
I think this is good news. I'm not going to rant about it. I mean, the trouble with these countries, you know, in certain parts of the world, is that they have their laws, and that's fine. But I think it's progressive that they would want to change one. So I applaud the idea of changing a law that's, you know, kind of a bit stupid and outdated. But
That takes us
these
right
people
back to
risk
the EU.
risk jail. If you risk jail if you drive in Saudi Arabia, if you're a woman, you risk jail. But these are the people who, you know, chop your hand off if you
Is
do
that not a
something
law
else.
that should be brought in over here?
What?
What?
Is that not a law that should be brought in Britain? You risk jail if you drive, if you're a woman.
Actually, do you want a true story?
No, we
You,
want to
you,
listen to
you,
Rach.
you mentioned about the archaic rules and things about going to prison and everything. A flashback from many years ago with the late Howard Rose, who was reporting an item in the radio magazine. And at one point, there was one and one only pirate radio station in Iran.
Yeah.
And the bloke got caught.
Oh, right.
And he had a choice. A leg
sounds
or an arm.
Oh, there you go.
Ooh.
Oh.
I mean,
What did you
but this
choose?
is the thing. When one of these countries does something really progressive like this,
Yes.
I applaud them. I go, good on you. Good upon
Absolutely.
you.
Oh, no, Rach, we're in trouble.
Why?
This is going to hurt, Rach.
What is it?
Leigh's very funny today is the message.
Oh.
I've had a funny turn.
Drunk.
He does a funny turn.
Are you drunk, listener? Are you drunk?
I think dear listener is drunk on something.
Have you received a blow to the head recently?
Yeah.
Is it Andrea?
No. I am going to be very, very kind to this person, and I'm not going to mention his name, because to suggest that you are funny and put your name to it is just catastrophic.
Yeah.
Whoever you are,
Don't say
I
that out.
love you. I love you.
The person is now laughing. A very difficult story, this one. Madeleine McCann. The UK government's given police $150,000, a little bit more, to extend the search for the missing toddler, who's probably now a teenager, I think. The investigation will carry on until March 2018. 11 years since the little girl vanished. I was right then. Would now be a teenager, or is now a teenager. The only kind of positiveness I've got in my brain somewhere, and I don't know if you guys remember this, there was a story either last year or the year before about this girl that went missing in America, and after 20 years she was found as a hostage with some barbaric idiots who kept her in a cellar for all those years. And the only...
Happened a lot over there.
Yeah, it's the only thing that keeps me kind of being positive about Madeleine McCann. It's just that maybe.
How old was she when she was taken? 3?
3 or 4?
Yeah.
There's if she's still on the earth, which I pray that she is, there's every chance that she wouldn't remember her parents by now.
True.
And
But it's still that she needs finding. She still needs.
Of course,
finding.
she needs finding. But when she, let's say she's found, what undescribable trauma.
Yeah.
To
I agree.
You know,
The trauma.
it's just it boggles.
We were actually in Praia de Luz a few weeks ago. It wasn't a place we'd chosen to go, but we ended up very close to it, and so we visited. And talk about the trauma. Praia de Luz, which is where she was kidnapped from or taken from, is actually such a haunted place. The atmosphere in that place is so dour and dark.
Would be.
And it's terrible. But the fact that I think the British government and the Home Office and the Metropolitan Police have actually got to be applauded for actually saying, no, we will continue the hunt for this child.
Yes.
We will continue.
No, I agree. Very much so. We've got to move on, guys, because we've got so much to get in. I think this is political correctness gone completely barking mad. This young lady, her name's Leigh Trigger, her proper name, but goes by the name of Mermaid Aries. And she's had this sort of swimming costume made, which is out of Lycra. And so it's one of those stretchy things. So she actually was swimming in a swimming pool like a mermaid with the fishy bit on. But it's not fishy bits. It's it's just a Lycra thing. It's like wearing those funny jeans that's stretchy and all stuff like that. And now all of a sudden, she's not allowed to.
One question.
What?
One very quick question on this. Dead simple.
Go on.
Are you allowed to wear flippers in the swimming baths?
Exactly.
I don't think you are.
That's a good point, actually.
Yeah, and so this really would be in the same thing. And also, her spandex type material outfit only cost 150 quid, where the real ones are 4,000. So, yeah. So that's why they banned her, because she's cheap.
Well, you know what? She can come to Australia and swim in our pools, because we're allowed to wear flippers in our pool.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You can come and swim in anything. Yeah. It's cruel and it's nasty. But if in fact the rules are, and I think they are, that you can't wear flippers in the swimming baths unless you're under special lessons, like you're doing something special, as a general rule, you can't, then quite right.
Absolutely. Okay. Little Buddha's just joined us as well. Hello, mate. How are you? We missed you. Where have you been asleep? You've missed 45 minutes of the programme. For goodness sake.
That your little Buddha, all right.
Little Bud. This is a public service announcement. The penny doesn't seem to have dropped yet in the UK.
That's a good headline in the ConsumerWatchFoundation.com, by the way.
I'm going to hit my head on something in a minute, but I might break it.
Must be very low.
No, I'm not going there. Anyway, this is the public service announcement. Guys, you need to check your £1 coins if you're in the UK, because by October the 15th, a lot of them will not be legal tender.
Well, most of them won't be. If you've got the old-fashioned £1 coin, you can't even stick it in your supermarket trolley or a parking meter anymore after whatever that date was. And
why?
Because they become invalid. They become useless as coinage.
No, Leigh, a supermarket trolley is just a little hole. It doesn't know. It's not intelligent.
I know this. I'm just telling you what the government's saying.
Well, they're stupid again, you see. That's the second time today I've proved they're stupid.
I know, but that's what the government's saying, so that's what people are reporting.
Ooh.
They're saying that obviously nobody's going to be able to change everything, but what they're saying is hang on. In a way, it's like you say it's a public service thing. They're saying don't hold on to your things because you won't be able to use them in the future.
But if you keep one and keep it in your car, then every time you go to the supermarket, then you've got your coin ready. Or you could, once it's not legal tender, you could drill a hole in it as well. Put it on your keyring.
Well, I've got hundreds of. I'll put all on my keyring. Yeah. What? It's just people being told the new 12-sided £1 coins coming in, and it was actually came in March, and we're talking about October, and people are still using the old one. Take them, get rid of them, spend them. Just get rid of them and have a 12-sided one because it's far more charming. It's like a threepenny bit.
It is a bit like that, really, actually. Is this one for Rach? I think it is, and I wonder how happy she is. NASA and Russia have joined forces to build a space station orbiting the moon.
Yes, well, this is what I told you after I went and saw Buzz Aldrin.
You did?
Yeah.
You did?
He said you've got to orbit the moon and use it as a step-off point to get to Mars, and that's exactly what they're doing this for. Russia and the US are cooperating, and they're building a space station that is specifically there to orbit the moon as part of the long-term project to get to Mars.
Clouds across the moon.
The coolest thing ever.
Oh, sorry, I'm doing it again. Clouds across the moon.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean, Rach?
No.
I do know what you mean.
It's a song. It's a song.
By who?
I can't remember.
Sorry, fake news again, ladies and gentlemen.
No, it's not. No, it's not. It's Clouds Across the Moon. It's a song. A very beautiful song from either late 70s, early 80s. I can't remember. But beautiful.
Now, we could get all cynical and say the Russia and the US relationship with this agreeing to build this space station has got a lot to do with the Trump-Putin love affair. But I don't care how they did it.
Nope.
Russia's had a really big presence in the space race anyway for a long time, and will do for a long time.
Absolutely. Moving along very... Sorry, Leigh, we got to move on. Because I've got so much more to get in. This is very difficult. A woman in Australia is giving birth, and yet her husband's being chucked out, Rachel.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a nice English man, and he has been working on bridging visas and sponsorship visas and so forth for the last 7 years or so. And he and his partner have got pregnant. She's 5 months pregnant. So he went to New Zealand to lodge a temporary visa earlier in the month, but his application has been rejected, which is very strange because he owns a business in Australia and he employs Australians, and it's all just rank. But a petition started up to try and save this guy, but they're saying it could be 18 months. Could be waiting for a partnership de facto visa to be, okay with this woman. But my advice to them is get out of here.
Yeah.
Like, don't even wait. Just go to the UK. And because the UK love it when people come over. So
yeah, they do. They welcome you. Yep.
You can fly at 5 months pregnant. Get out of Dodge until they sort it out.
Yeah.
You don't want to be here. If you don't be here on a run.
Oh yeah, a very sensible lady point.
Was that a top tip?
Yes, it was. Get out of Dodge.
Yeah, a top tip. Most of you won't have heard of this. I'm sure my colleagues won't either. But one of the oldest wholesale names in the UK appears to have been saved. It's one of the oldest and what technically was the biggest tobacco distributor. A company called Palmer and Harvey's. They've been around since the year dot. They were about to go pear-shaped. Some Imperial Tobaccos and Japan Tobacco International have pledged a whole bunch of money so that another company can actually do the due diligence on them to keep Palmer and Harvey solvent whilst they're taken over. And I have to say, considering all the names we've lost in the last couple of years, to keep good old Palmer and Harvey going, I think that's a flipping good thing.
Well, why is that good? Because they supply tobacco. And tobacco kills people. It makes people really ill. And people are being ripped off by the price of tobacco. People are being screwed in Britain over tobacco.
They don't just do tobacco, though, Leigh. They do crisps, peanuts. They do bar sundries.
All things that make you fat.
That's confectionery. Oh, leave them alone.
Yeah, leave them alone, do. This is one that I can imagine is... Now I'm being told Leigh's on a roll, for goodness sake. Was this the Leigh fan club here today, or what? Anyway, I'm sure that Robbie will need to take notice of this, because very shortly, Robbie, your car's going to be sold.
Yes.
It is.
Oh, Robbie.
Because
tomorrow, if I had my way.
Rachel is going to buy an electronic Dyson.
The electronic Dyson is only for suckers.
Pardon?
Oh, but you know what?
Oh, that is so bad. It was good, though. But apparently, Rach, Dyson vacuum cleaners, as in Sir James Dyson, they're going to make electric cars.
Yeah.
Shut up and take my money.
Yes, exactly. And if you don't realise, boys and girls, if you're new to us, Rachel is a vacuum cleaner maniac.
I am.
She's actually got a fetish for vacuum cleaners, which is very strange.
It is very strange.
I have more than a fetish. I have an obsession.
Obsession.
We're hiding our vacuum cleaners when she comes over.
I don't blame you, Leigh. It's a good idea.
In fact, we're sending it to other members of the family.
Yes, probably safest.
Yes.
Don't forget the little one that that's electric in the car, the battery
little
one.
handheld one.
Yes.
Oh, that's
no idea of that.
Yeah, you have to be careful with that. They vibrate a lot, Leigh. Be careful. Anyway. Have you not picked one of those up, Rach? They vibrate like crazy, those little vacuum cleaners.
I love them. What do you think? I love them.
I love them. Do you know what? I put this story in purely because I happen to think that as a film actress, a photographer's dream, Audrey Hepburn was one of the most elegant, classy ladies that was ever on the silver screen.
So beautiful.
Oh, my God, I'm talking like you two.
That's right. No, she's right. He's right, isn't she?
Oh.
He's absolutely right. He is absolutely correct. She's the most graceful, beautiful woman ever to dance across celluloid.
Oh.
She's breathtaking.
Absolutely.
But why would her earrings be worth £1,000?
I think
the same reason why Andy Warhol's can of soup painting is worth a gazillion, and had an autograph by George Harrison.
Absolutely.
No, I'm going to take umbrage now. I'm going to argue.
She's not selling her umbrage.
No. I think that £1,000 for some earrings is actually quite cheap. When people
enamel and paste.
Yeah, but the people pay £20 million for a soup can on a bit of paper.
That's
same
because
thing.
It's interesting.
It's not.
Yeah. It's a collectible, and this is also a collectible, and it was touched and worn by the great Audrey Hepburn.
Exactly.
So people are going to pay money for it, and it's the same as any collectible. We've had this argument so many times.
I'm not going to argue.
No, I'm not arguing.
No, I'm not going to argue because
Put your umbrage away.
I'm going to put my umbrage away because I think that Audrey Hepburn was just... If there's one person I would have liked to go back in time and meet, it would be her.
Yeah, she's at my...
Are you in love with Audrey Hepburn?
No, it's not...
I'm in love with Audrey Hepburn.
Well,
She's a gay icon.
Pardon?
She is a gay icon.
You say, Justin, I'm gay?
I would never suggest that.
You just did.
There's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with it at all. Anyway, we like this one. Girls in the office take note. Ladies at home take note. Men who go and buy beers for their wives take note. beer really does make you happier.
I tell you what, I'll be so happy in a couple of hours.
Yeah. Apparently, key molecules boost the brain's reward centre. Now, what the heck that is, I don't know. But go on then, you tell me.
Well, it's the receptors in your brain, and part of your brain accepts and craves rewards. Right. And it's a bit of a stupid thing to say because
hang on, is that why you always phone me up and say, "Tell me I'm lovely"?
I tell you you're lovely because you are lovely.
No, you phone me up and say to me, I've got to say to you, you're lovely.
No, but you're like a Picasso painting. Nothing's in the right place, but it all goes together in a fascinating way.
Oh dear, you on me, I'll play it. Off we go then. But apparently beer is supposed to be good for you.
It's brilliant for you. I tell you what, I'd be dead if it wasn't for beer.
And scientists are now saying you should drink some.
All the time. You should drink.
Oh, 1 minute. Whoa. The research was done in Germany.
Well, they all drink beer there and they're all living.
Well, that's true.
Yeah, but Oktoberfest lasts for 6 weeks.
Hang on. Rach, you done it. Thank you, Rach. Rach, you are a star. Oktoberfest starts next week.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And this week they bring out a news announcement that beer is good for you according to scientists just before beer fests.
There you go.
George Clooney's got into this NFL thing in America with Mr. Trump. I nearly called him Mr. Bush. I don't think there's much difference. Anyway, apparently George says, when I pray, I kneel, which makes it all good.
Yeah. But that's a poem. He's written a poem, which is called When I Pray, I Kneel. And it's all about Trump. Mr. Trumpington's such a strange character. Uh-huh. Why is he trying to stop people protesting in a peaceful manner, in a respectful manner, about something which is heinous and bad in their country? What is wrong with Mr. Trumpington?
I don't know. I think he had one. I think he had a Blondie moment. Oh, that's right. Oh, that's very sexist. I'm sorry.
But he's had more than one Blondie moment.
That's true. Let's get on to something sensible. Rach, apparently you're going to establish a national space agency in Australia.
You are.
We are. I've been a bit agog, actually, because guess who's in the country? Guess who's in my hometown of Adelaide?
Michelle Cash.
Elon Musk. And I'm not there.
No.
Today. They're establishing an agency, which is really important because we do a lot of stuff with NASA, and we've got our great big dishes, and the CSIRO are really involved in our space program.
Yeah.
And we have a tinky little, if you can't even call it a space program, but we're going to have our own space agency, which is actually really unfortunately named.
But if it's going to be, is it going to be in Melbourne then?
Going to be in? Oh, well, no. I think they're going to put it. They're probably going to put it in Adelaide somewhere because that's where they've got all the defence spending and stuff in Adelaide anyway. So that's probably where it's.
Do you know even Scotland's got its own sort of space project thing?
Everybody has now because this is all run by countries and not by governments. This is run by, by private entrepreneurs and the space.
Oh, crumbs! I've got to tell you very, very quick. This has got to be the briefest story ever. Do you know when they tried to start the Astra satellite network, SES, in Luxembourg? The original lady there that went to propose the idea to the government said, "You're completely mad. It will never take off."
Yeah.
True story. Now look, it's like the biggie, one of the biggest companies in the world. Unbelievable. But there you go. Rach, it's time to. Rach, what are you going to do this weekend?
Well, we're up in Harrietville in the Alpine region in Victoria. We're about 4 hours northeast of Melbourne, and we're going to spend the weekend in the cool air of the country.
Love it. I could just imagine you skipping through the woods, picking daisies.
That's what he's doing, Rachel. He's imagining you in those situations.
That's all right. As long as you've got the clothes on, cold.
Okay, say goodbye, Rach.
Goodbye, Rach.
Right. I think we've just about got time for a little bit more than Sooty and Sweet. What are you doing, Leigh?
Well, actually, I'm going to tell the world that the Aussies have stolen fair dinkum from the British. Fair dinkum, which is one of the most used phrases in there, comes from the Midlands in Britain and means 20 cartloads of coal.
Leigh?
Bye-bye, everybody. Bye-bye.
And we still don't know what he's doing at the weekend. Marvellous, isn't it? You ask him a question, what do you get? Complete nothingness. That was Postcard from Poprad for another week. We'll see you in, a week's time, less 1 hour, if that makes any sense. Same place that you are now, because we'll be back just to annoy you again. Yes, annoy you again. And what have we got next? Oh, Steve Bishop's up next. You're going to like this. And Steve's praying that his programme is actually going to spur Queen's Park Rangers to win a football game. Yeah, I think you've got a few sort of minor issues there, Steve, but what would I know?
From the heart of Europe to the world, this is RTI.